Never feel ashamed or embarrassed for being sick or having any other life issue. Hello, y'all. I'm Dianna Brianne. Well, as many of you know, I am in the healing process. I pulled a muscle. Apparently, I pulled a muscle in my back when I was flipping over my hair and flipping it back. And this happened a few days ago. And I talked about it in detail in another video, so I'm not going to repeat all the details. But I am doing much better today, much better. My sleep has not returned to normal, so I am not as rested as I normally would be. So my sleep is kind of intermittent, and that's okay. But things are kind of moving towards the direction, I hope, of returning to normal, or maybe a new normal for me, because I'm going to change the way I do a lot of things, such as my daily fitness routine. Because after all, I am 64, and I want to respect my 64-year-old body, even though I have a 29-year-old mind. So I wanted to talk about this, whatever you're going through, whether it's any kind of life issue, life crisis, sickness, or whatever. Don't be ashamed and don't be embarrassed, okay? I will be very, very honest. You know, before I put that video up yesterday about what I was going through, I was really, really hesitant because, well, I want people to see me as the 64-year-old that I am, that gets out there every day and goes for my 5-mile run, that goes to the gym and works at a high level on the machines, and does cardio, burn, and aerobics, and all of that at the gym at a level that a 25-year-old would do. And then I was hunched over. I was walking slowly. I had to stay in bed. I couldn't go out and run. I couldn't do the things that I normally would do. Even though life is returning to normal, I hope, and I'm feeling so much better. It really brought home to me about not being ashamed. And if you choose to be, go ahead and be transparent in what you're going through. It's a choice. You don't have to. You know, it's a choice. And it doesn't make you wrong or right to choose to share it with other people or choose not to share it. You know, I believe in sharing personal details only with the right people, not with everyone, because not everyone has your best interests at heart. And yet, this is the type of thing that, because I do YouTube videos, I thought, you know what, I want to let people see into my world. Not do I just come on here and talk about wisdom topics, but I'm a real person as well. And so, even though most people see me as this amazing 64-year-old that does all these things and went back to college and full-time and making great grades and am an artist and a mom and a wife and all these things, I too can get issues just like anyone else. And I've had issues in my life, and I've talked about some of those issues in different videos. Life is not always perfect, even for people who may seem perfect, even with people who may seem to have that perfect life, because indeed everyone can get something along the way. And if they live long enough, they likely will. And that's why I wanted to talk about not hiding the truth. Now, granted, our truth doesn't need to be shared with everybody. It only should be shared, or can be shared, with the right people. And I chose to be transparent. I chose to share with you that I was hunched over like an old lady. I could barely, you know, I was scared because I didn't know what I had done. I had done the flipping of the hair a million times before, and it just was that one other time. So during this period of time, I've been reassessing how I'm going to go forward, how I'm going to exercise. I'm making a lot of positive changes to accommodate those next seasons of my life, okay, so that I can live out an amazing life. Remember, growing older, as we all do, or even growing old, does not mean letting yourself fall apart or letting yourself go. Okay, it means that you are going to grow older, and that's a good thing because the alternative is not so good. Okay, and so I think that a lot of people like me, when this happened, I didn't want to share it. I didn't want people to know. I wanted people to see me as that energetic person. And even though I did my videos and I looked very normal, I wasn't feeling good. Okay, in some of those videos, I was not feeling my best. I was not at my best. I even did a video called When You're Not at Your Best. You know, when things are not going your way. And there I was. I haven't actually left the house for about 4 days since this. Well, we went out the night that it happened, but then since then I haven't left the house other than in the yard. And so tonight we are going to dinner because my husband's cousin is coming into town. And so that's a great thing. I look forward to that. I'm getting out, but I'm taking things slow. It'll probably be a few days, maybe in a few days I might go out for a waddle, not a run, and maybe I will get back to the gym eventually with a new routine at a different intensity level and much, much refined. We'll see. I'm not pushing myself. I'm taking my time to let my body heal. And so I wanted to just come on here really and talk about not being ashamed when you're going through a crisis. If you're going through a divorce, if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through a financial crisis, not that you have to share it with everyone, but don't be ashamed. Everyone can get something, okay? No one is immune to everything. Many years ago, I remember a very dear friend of mine. I was living in Palm Springs area, and we'd been friends for years. And I was going through a big breakup in a significant relationship. And she saw me as having this wonderful, perfect life. And she indeed had what I thought was a perfect life, which she has a beautiful life and still does to this day. And yet, I didn't want her to know about it because, well, we had had these two perfect lives together, you know, as friends. And so one day I pulled into the post office. I went to the post office and I came out and was getting in my car, and she pulled up and she saw me, and I turned away and I drove away. I didn't want her to know. Now, of course, we reconnected later and I explained the whole thing. And would I do that again? No, of course not. She was my friend. But I didn't want to share it with her because she had this wonderful, happy marriage, and here I was going through this difficult time, and I was so embarrassed and ashamed. And so, you know, I think that with the right people, if we choose to share what our issue is or what we're going through, the right people will be there to comfort us, to console us, and maybe to help us. The wrong people can be there to criticize and put us down and diminish us. And yet, being transparent often opens the doorway to even new relationships that we didn't have before. Because now people see us as a real person. We have a connection there. Maybe they've been through what we've been through. I had one girlfriend many years ago that we had kind of followed our husbands followed each other's careers. And so we went from Europe to Alabama, and then we moved on to Kansas, and she was still in Alabama. And I hadn't heard from her for a while. She had this beautiful, perfect marriage, gorgeous husband, 3 beautiful kids. And when I did hear from her, I heard from her through email, and she said, I don't know if you want to be my friend anymore, but my husband left me, and we ended up in a minivan having to go across country and to my family's, and that's where I'm at now, and I'm just so sad and feeling embarrassed. And I wrote her back, I said, oh my gosh, you know, I'm here to support you and love you and be there for you. I had no idea that you were going through this. And yet she was embarrassed over what she was going through. That was of no fault of her own. No fault of her own. Okay? And there are other people that go through financial problems and all kinds of problems, or teenager problems, or kid problems, or health problems, or, there's all kinds of problems. People get problems, okay? And to think that someone else, well, they may not have your problem, but they probably have something. And if someone is judgmental, or diminishes you because you are going through a difficult time, those are not people that you want to be around, okay? So never, ever be ashamed or embarrassed over what you're going through, but build a support system, a support team that will support you and love you through it. From my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope you like, share, subscribe to all 5 of my channels. Links are pinned at the top of the comment section below. And if the links aren't working, just cut and paste the name of the channel and you can get there that way. So thank you, and may God bless you. And I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.